Okay. Call to order of a special meeting, Goodyear City Council, 21 December 2006. Would you please follow Councilmember Lord as she leads us in a Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing and bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your presence. And Lord, we're rounding third base on the way to home plate. We ask that you be with our staff today at the ASTA meetings. And Lord, at this time of the year when things are so tough, we ask you to be with our president making the right decisions for our country and keep those safe that are serving around the country. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Council members Scott and Antoniak will not be here this morning. Councilmember Scott has a business appointment, and Councilmember Antoniak had a medical appointment. So could I ask for a motion to excuse both of them?
So moved.
Motion from Councilmember Susan, a second from Councilmember Holland. All those signify by stating aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Both gentlemen are excused. There are no minutes, no expenditures to ratify. Do you have any communications from council? Yes, ma'am.
The only thing I'd like to mention, we didn't mention last week, Jeff Fine did a just absolutely wonderful job gathering all the Christmas presents and doing the event and getting it out to the families. And we didn't mention it the last council meeting. There was a great team that all worked with him, and all you at the city contributed, gave money, and worked on the team. But Jeff was the one that really coordinated, and a lot of hours put into that. So I would just like, on behalf of the council, I
Yes.
think we need to thank Jeff.
Yeah, and why don't we do that with a round of applause?
Yes.
And, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say the Councilwoman Lord and Councilwoman Holland and myself attended the supervisor's graduation, first graduation class of supervisors training, and I want to extend further congratulations to all those candidates who went through the supervisor's training class, and wish them the best. I think they gained a lot by this, and we owe them a lot of praise for taking the time away from their work when their work stacks up and waits for them, and take the time off to go to the Supervisors Academy. So congratulations to them, too.
Thank you. Manager, summary of events.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, on behalf of the staff, we want to thank council for its support. The Supervisors Academy would not have been successful if we did not have your backing and support for that effort, and we appreciate the attendance of Vice Mayor and several council members at that time. Thank you.
Thank you. Opportunity now for anyone in the public to comment to the council on any subject not on this morning's agenda. Any comments? Seeing none, we'll move to consent agenda, and there's nothing on our consent agenda. We'll move to the business part of the agenda. We have one single item. It's a memorandum to adopt a memorandum of understanding between the City of Goodyear and the Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority. And Brian Dolke will start that presentation.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, absolute pleasure to be standing in front of you this morning with this agenda item. This has been a multi-year effort, been a lot of hard work, a lot of discussions with council, getting a lot of guidance from council that's assisted staff in getting to this point, quite frankly. And today, what you will be considering, and it's staff's recommendation that you will adopt this resolution to support the memo of understanding with the Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority to fund the spring training facility with the Cleveland Indians. So that's what we're here for. We do have a presentation today because this has been such a long effort. A lot of years have gone into this, and certainly the last several months it's been accelerated. So as part of that, we do have a presentation that will be provided by the mayor as it's queuing up right now. But we also want to step you back, and the reason is there's a lot of information that we think needs to be shared because it's taken a long time to get here. It's a great opportunity to recap and go back through really what this is about. And it will be, I think the mayor's honored to present that to you. Again, it's been his vision, it's been the vision of the council to get us to this point. The other thing I'd like to do, and Jeff, I saw that you already flipped up the presentation, but I do want to spend a minute on a couple of things. And one is to go back through the finances, just so it's well understood. As council may recall, it was September 18th we came back before you and talked about the financing arrangements as it looked for us to go with a one-team facility for now. And as part of that, I think it's important to step council back through that. So, Jeff, if I could have Elmo, I'd appreciate it. And we'll zoom this puppy in. Jeff, can you zoom that in for me? There you go. Is that week I missed during the technical training that kept me from being able to master this part of the presentation. Mayor, members of the council, what you have before you is really what the funding is as it relates to this spring training facility. And it's in your council packet, but also so the public can be well aware of how we're approaching this. And you'll notice that we have the cost of the spring training facility that's estimated right now. It's not locked in concrete, but these are our best estimates that we have now that's part of the consideration of the SBA as we go forward. And we're the estimate for the one-team stadium training facilities are $56 million. In addition, we have about 75 acres of land that are going to be part of this project. 75 acres of which the Wood family has graciously worked closely with Rose Properties to work in a contribution, and it's actually giving much value away as it relates to this property. And it's just under $6 a square foot, $5.74 a square foot. This was developed by land comps as provided by Trammell Crow, and they actually estimate that the land value should be well in excess of that now. But point being is the land value, as we're looking at it being provided by the developer, is $12,500,000. Additionally, the city is purchasing a portion, paying for a portion of that land in addition to what the developer is bringing forward at about $6.2 million. So then if you look at that, the only other thing that you'll really see on there of significance is funding of the offsite infrastructure. We will own 75 acres of land, in or about 75 acres of land. As such, we got to put streets in, we got to put water lines and sewer lines. So we've allocated through this process $10 million to fund infrastructure for our property. Obviously, there are benefits to the surrounding areas as well, too. And this has been agreed upon in previous memos of understanding, certainly with the developer, been before council. So again, this is a recap of where we're at with financing. Below the line, you'll see the funding sources that we actually use to make this work. And you can see that in front of you as well, with an estimated $37 million plus from the Sports and Tourism Authority. Again, that's an estimate at this point. We will be working closely with them as they work with all spring training facilities on what project costs are. So that number may change, may not, we don't know, but we're going to be working closely with them and their staff as we go forward. So you can see that their funding is a significant part, 50% of the project costs. So, and then the balance is by the city, by the developer. So what does that mean in terms of our annual outlay of cash? What you have here As you notice on here that we have that we will be interest only for the first 10 years. We anticipate we're going to be getting funding from the STA beginning in and around 2017 due to other obligations with new facilities that have come on board in the last few years and renovations as well. But we will be receiving those payments from them beginning around 2017 that actually pay the principal for the bonds that we're going to be going out for as it relates to the stadium. Up until then, the city funds the interest. Interest is a reimbursable from the STA, and we feel like we have an extremely strong financial plan. Mr. Scott Ruby with Gus Rosenfeld, Larry Given with our financial advisor, and certainly Larry Lang have worked closely on the numbers, so we know that we're there. But we're looking at about $4 million a year in debt service for this particular project. We've also, and this has been before council as well before, that we're looking at capital replacement fund to set aside to replace plastic seats and those things in the stadium as we need to have a fund that builds up over time. We want to make sure that this stadium is kept nice in first-class order, much like what the Indians do with their field at Jacobs Field right now. We also are looking at operations and maintenance. This is net of the revenues we would be receiving after gate receipts, after concessions, after those types of things. We're estimating that after we receive those revenues, and we're being conservative, we think it's still about $1.7 million a year to keep this in great shape. Mowing and all the operations and the staff it takes to keep this a world-class facility. So with that, we're looking at about just under $6 million total annual outlay. On the $4 million in the capital side of things, we've actually projected $4.7 million in our 10-year funding scenario. So we have this extremely well covered. We're very confident that this will work. So I wanted to make sure that the financiers were understood. Certainly can answer any questions, Mayor, whether it's now or after your presentation. Be happy to do that. Additionally, we have Scott Ruby here that can talk about that. We have Eric Judson, John Ruggieri, Wood family here that might be able to answer questions as well. But with that, I would let council know that that the Sports and Tourism Authority is looking at voting on this later today. And they may be watching us right now just to see what your actions, what comes out of this as we build the momentum forward. But we do have a lot of work that's gone into this, and Mayor, it'd be my pleasure to turn it over to you for presentation to take us forward.
Okay, thank you. Brian, just because I'm going to ask if there's any questions to you. But one could have derived from previous decisions we made that the council does support this level of funding. But it wasn't as clear as we wanted it to be. We want to make sure this council is fully comfortable with what is going to be hopefully approved this afternoon and before it's done. So it was my idea, and I think I know Brian agreed, is that we bring this to council and ask for your final decision on this particular financial agreement. So that's why we're having this meeting. I think Kathy showed up. You're loading?
45 seconds.
Okay, 45 seconds. Brian's the expert on financing. I have it in my presentation, but I won't be covering much because Brian already did. Are there any questions of Brian?
Great
Okay,
presentation,
thank you.
very clear.
Okay, then I'm going to get lined up to make a presentation, which I will not make this afternoon, by the way. It is something that Paula and others put together. I think it does have merit to be used throughout the community and maybe to local civic clubs and that sort of thing. So that's probably where this briefing will find its balance, will find its worth. But from the standpoint of seeking anything, it doesn't do that. It advises and alerts and informs people, and that's all it does. Okay? So, Jeff, whenever you're ready. Probably not a bad time to introduce the folks who have been going through this exhaustive process and are finally coming to, I think, fruition today and over the next month or so. Eric Judson from JMI. I would like to introduce Eric. Yeah, would you? San Diego for this day.
Mayor, would you grab the mic.
Okay, yeah. This is on internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, there you go.
John Ruggieri from Rosewood Properties, and they'll have the Ballpark Village. Brian deserves a hand, too. And my wife, just for putting up with this old guy. Scott Ruby from Gus Rosenfeld, who we all know and is a financial genius, and he's been the key element here. Ken Wood from the Rose family. Emily Bindner from one of our three consultants, and probably the most active of those, so thank you right now. Did I miss anyone? Okay. Is there a mouse here? Told there's a mouse here. Yeah, I saw that, but no, okay. That's all right, we'll just hit the, this will work. Are we ready? Okay. Here we go. I probably in 30 years in the Air Force, I probably briefed 10,000 times, and my whole philosophy on that is if they can't read it, they shouldn't probably be in the briefing. So I don't read charts, so we'll just go through them real quick. But it is important to note that we aren't talking about a cactus-to-cactus move, and Southwest Valley has not received any spring training dollars from the SDA in the history of the SDA. It is important to note, though, that the SDA has funded one project in the Southwest Valley, and that's parks in Avondale. And it's important to note that we are the only city right now that's ready to go in 2009. So, and we will be going in 2009. The SDA wanted to ensure that we could secure the funding for a one-team facility, and as you know, we are still seeking a second team, but we are proving here that we can do the one team. That's our objective today. I think everybody here in this room would agree with that. We're ready now, and that's where we're heading. This is absolutely crucial. And we aren't here to compare ourselves with anyone else, and we aren't going to do that. But rest assured, those three achievements were significant. Brian has covered that, but the total is $74,750, and we want 50% of that now, and that's what we believe they're going to approve this afternoon. We certainly hope that's true, and that's what we're asking the council to agree with. It takes a while. Those of us on council may not even be living when this happens, let alone representing the city when this money starts coming back. So. $20, and the lease agreement with the Indians is for 20 years, and there's options to extend that. And I would suspect that whoever is here then, that the Indians will want to do that. And it's going to be our facility. It is a public use facility. You aren't going to, I don't see Brian Barnes here, but he isn't going to be transporting people from the Stray Mountain Ranch to Holly Jolly or a 4th of July exercise. We're going to have a place where we can have an event and park people by it. So this is a tremendous thing for the city. This goes way beyond the Cleveland Indians for you. This will be a central attraction within the city of tremendous value. Indians have been working nicely with us. I suspect that will continue. I understand, as you know, Paul Dolan is the president. He's a member of the family of ownership. The father is going to visit us, we think, in January. So we're looking forward to meeting him. And the Indians go back to, I think, 1900. Eric, is that a correct statement? Okay, yeah. But they were one of the first teams in the American League. The National League started in 1876, and the American League at the turn of the century, and the Indians were one of those. And you know what? They're harming no one by leaving Florida. That's important. They and the city, Winter Haven, had differing plans for each other. We didn't steal a team. This is a regional effort. About 90% of the cities in the West Valley support the city of Goodyear in its effort to receive funding from the STA. And the words they used in their letter were that we should be the next facility built by the STA. So this has been a critical element supporting us, and we're very thankful to the mayors and staffs of those cities because they made a difference. This shows the Southwest Valley population explosion. This is singularly important and unique within the West Valley, and particularly the Southwest Valley. It is the area, and I know everybody here knows that, of the most dramatic growth over the next 20 and 30 years. We're going to have plenty of people out here to see ball games. JMI Sports, it's Eric Judson and his folks, and they were intimately involved in the creation of the economic development activities around Petco Park in San Diego. And so we've been extremely grateful to have a team of that quality as part of our team. So thank you, Eric. They brought, so I guess John did, they brought an outfit that's, I understand, world-class urban planner, RTKL. They've already visited us, and I believe they're laying out a plan for how this ballpark village will appear, how it will be used, and how it will integrate with the city center. Okay, so that's crucial. So we have the right people, and we got good people who approved $10 million a couple years ago, and that has been another singularly important element to us. When we go up in front of people and ask for money, we can say, without question, we have support of our people, because our people said, we'll give you money. I'll just let you read this real quickly. I understand that that is above the average in the valley. I think we all know that by having the stadium come, hotels will come earlier, retail and restaurants will come earlier. We've sort of dubbed the Indians an accelerator. They accelerate our development, and that's good for Goodyear. So we're very pleased about that. And it certainly does that because it's actually borders on and it's part of the city center, the southeast portion. So we're going to have that city hall built a little sooner, folks, because of this. So it's good for all of us. We're going to have a library probably sooner than we thought. We may have colleges sooner than we originally, didn't expect them at all. So they're coming too. What a city this is going to become. Much of that development shows 2010 and later. The ballpark is in the strong yellow. And then in 2009, you see other elements there associated with the ballpark village that are coming in 2009. And then up there, actually to the right is north, okay? So to the right is north, and you're looking to the west. And that City Hall there, too, is one of those 2009 developments. Hey, Jeff? Didn't come up? I had a mouse, and that's how it came up before. Here we go. You're driving west, flying west. You're on Estrella Parkway. You're right now overflying the ballpark. There's the practice fields. You're heading south on Estrella Parkway, and you're going to make a right here at the future I-10 replacement, not replacement, I always forget that
Reliever.
word. Reliever. Now you're heading up on 303, and you're coming on to the Vestar development. Again, that's at, 2008? You're heading to I-10 on 303, Cotton Lane. Going to head back east now. Back to the city center area. Notice the university, we expect them to be in that area. City center, the airport, and the ballpark. Would Tim Johnson and Ron Hills please stand up? They did this presentation. Okay, so that's your future. That Indians-owned cable TV network is unique. I don't think any other team has that. The Indians, as I think many of us know, the ownership is heavily into communications and cable TV, so they have their own TV. And on that TV, a lot of attention has been placed on Goodyear. So it's getting a lot of attention in Ohio, and we have a lot of Ohio people here. I think we all know that in Goodyear, and we expect to fill that stadium up. It's Goodyear there in the darker gray. It's where the field will be, and those other small elements there are the other spring training fields. We're no closer than about 15 miles to the closest one. In other words, in that area, about 20-minute drive. Nothing in the valley longer than an hour drive. So it's a great location. It's good for fan base. It doesn't interfere with any other fan base, and it's still easily traveled during the period of spring training. That's within Goodyear and immediate 4 or 5 miles outside of Goodyear. For example, the Wigwam, I assume, is included in that. It is. It's 4-star resort. 4-diamond resort, I think it is. Those airplanes are actually, that is from our airport, and those were parked there during, PIR. So they do show up, and we have room for them. That less than 700,000 encumbered is a significant point. It's important also that the estimates come from 3 independent general contractors. And Brian has covered that. And that. We're looking for $37,375,000 of support, starting in 2017, is that correct? Notice the corporate office location in conjunction with the ball field, practice fields. $38,000 square foot clubhouse. It'll be a beautiful facility, there's no doubt about it. It's, we have a signed MOU with the Indians, and we had that before we submitted to the STA the application on 3 October. They'll start practicing, bring the kids out in April, watch them practice on the practice fields. Kids will love it. And then we'll start them up first or second day of February 2009, and we'll have one heck of an inauguration at our ballpark. So, and I think I covered the rest before. These are important dates. Start construction of the practice fields not later than July, and then the ballpark a year from now. There's supposed to be some music.
We could sing for you.
Take me out to the ball game, I think, or something like that.
That's okay.
Thank you. And we're here for any questions or additional comments. So. You ready for a motion, Brian?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council would ask for a motion to approve staff's recommendation for this resolution adopting the memo of understanding. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Takes the reading.
We need to read the resolution.
You have to read the resolution.
Okay,
Resolution 06-1112, resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Goodyear, Arizona, approving a memorandum of understanding between the city of Goodyear and the Arizona Tourism and Sports Authority regarding the funding of Cactus League baseball facilities.
okay, thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor, it's my pleasure to recommend that the council adopt resolution number 06-1112, approving the memorandum of understanding with the Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Souza and a second from Councilmember Lord. Open for discussion or comment.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Souza?
thank you, sir. As you pointed out, this has been a long time coming. I've got a catch in my throat. We've seen disappointment over this issue time and time again. And I want to thank you personally, Mr. Mayor, for moving this forward. As you point out, a lot of us aren't going to be here to see this to come to fruition. And it's very touching that this should become a part of this council activity at this time. I love this city so much. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just caught up in this. I just want to see these things happen for the future of this community. It's great to live here. It's great to be of service to the people of this community. 12 years ago, I was welcomed here, and I vowed that I'd become an integral part of this community. And what has happened here this evening, or this morning, is one of the things that I pride myself in being able to assist in bringing this movement to the city of Goodyear. I want to thank all of you that were involved in this effort. I hope that I'm here in 2009 to hear the exclamation, "Play ball," and to see the first pitch being thrown out by the mayor of the city, who deserves to do that honor. We are moving ahead in this community, and this is one of the things that will make us outstanding. We are good now, and we'll be good to the future, because this is Goodyear, and this is where we live. And you made this all possible. Thank you.
No, I thank you. Those are the greatest comments. Thank you very much. Councilmember Holland?
Well, there have been discouraging moments, but this makes up for all of it. For some of us, it's like giving birth. And you remember that the pain will diminish as we get more and more excited about what's happening in the city. And it's fun to be a part of it. And you guys have all included us in with everything that's been going on, and the good things and the bad things. And I think it's just been a worthwhile effort, and I'm just very, very excited for all of us. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Lord?
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Mayor, for your vision, and I'd like to thank the previous councils for their vision, because that actually is when it started. And not only that, we need to thank the citizens for voting that bond in some time ago. So I want a round of applause for our citizens of Goodyear to make this happen. And then secondly, I just want to thank you, because I know this is going to be a quality area. The construction is going to be quality. It's going to bring lots of benefits to our city, and it's the catalyst for the city center. And as you know, I've worked for 2 years on this, and I'm ready for something to start in that center. So I thank you, and I look forward to working with you and to seeing the end result.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I think I'm touched by this too, and it's very exciting to know where Goodyear is going, where Goodyear's headed. The vision Goodyear originally set up, and that vision came about when this mayor became the mayor of Goodyear. This mayor is going to leave a legacy that no other mayor has left for this city in the past. And it'll be very difficult for any future mayors to match what this man has done for the city of Goodyear. He has jump-started everything and made this thing go. So the legacy he leaves is going to be outstanding, and one that we will hear about. They will probably name parks and buildings and everything else after him in the future, but it's going to be a quality city, and we're more than a Goodyear. We're the best city in the state, and I hear that over and over. When people move from some of the cities in the east side and come to Goodyear and say, "This is the place," we know that something has been done right, and credit goes to the past councils and to our mayor. And I really appreciate everything that he has done for us and for the citizens, and the citizens have responded positively. One thing by that, approving that bond for $10 million, and the fact that the families who live here have joined in with us and made this what it is today. And we've just begun, folks. This is going to be a great city. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Certainly the comments made so far, I'm very thankful to those. My mother and father would not believe those comments, believe me. But I wish they could have heard those, Frank. But anyway, they didn't. So I want to say that it's unrequited, positive, professional approach ruled the day. And it's because of this team coming together that we're successful. And that's everybody here, just not those who worked it intimately, but everybody here, council and staff. So it's been a joy for me to work with everybody, and it's just once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I thank you for sharing with me in that. So thank you. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sousa.
Aye.
Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Lord.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cavalier.
Aye.
Mayor Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Passed 5-0.
Okay. So we'll move this afternoon. And I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.